Out by the barn where the stories grow, under the sun where the warm winds blow. A sanctuary where the hearts unite. Come join the love in the golden light. Love lives here where the open skies sing. Every soul finds a place to cling. Join us today, feel the warmth inside, in the Barnside Chat where the love won't hide. Whispers of care in the gentle breeze, laughter that dances among the trees. Every life matters, every heart's a flame. Together we gather, no one's the same. Love lives here where the open skies sing. Every soul finds a place to cling. Join us today, feel the warmth inside, in the Barnside Chat where the love won't hide. Skies sing, every soul finds a place to cling. Join us today, feel the warmth inside, in the Barnside Chat where the love won't hide.
Hello friends, hello, welcome to Heath's Barnside Chat. My name is Derek and we are gathered here today to talk all about Heath's, everything that has happened this past week. It's so good to see everybody. The comments are already starting to come in, and we have Brooke, hello from Seattle. Good to see you here, Brooke. Thanks for joining us. And we have Gail from Long Island, New York. So good that you could be here today. And Claire from England, and Shirley from California. Welcome. On today's Barnside Chat, we've got a lot to cover. And her name is... We're going to discuss what the name that was chosen for our newest piggy resident. And we're going to have resident updates, maybe a couple facilities updates, and then we're going to take questions from the Magic Rainbow Bag. Okay, I know you're all tuned in. You're wanting to know what the new little one's name is. There's the little stinker. I want to thank everybody that voted, everybody that emailed their votes in. Thank you very much to everybody. So we're going to reveal the little stinker's name. Are you ready and as excited as I am? Because I have been calling her all sorts of names, and yeah, I'm pleased with this name selection. So here we go. Are you ready? Let's do a little drum roll. Where's my drum roll button? Oh, there it is. Drum roll button. And we are welcoming baby Eleanor. Oh my gosh, that is such a cute, adorable name for her. I am pleased as punch to call her Eleanor for the rest of her little piggy life. Yeah, there was a lot of great names to choose from, and thanks for playing along. This was a fun community thing to do, to see where everybody's at and just to get everybody's thoughts on it. But ultimately, the crowd has spoken, and her name is Little Piggy Eleanor. And here's where the voting all laid out at, if you're interested or a numbers person. You can see about 750 people voted for 100% of the vote, and there it is. Cindy Lou was second place with 26%, and then I guess the next closest would be Josephine, then Estelle, then Freda, then Antoinette, and then Roberta. So yeah, there we have it. Welcome home, baby Eleanor. She is so cute and perfect. And I wanted to do the live stream with her today, but she's still on, just active rest. And me being in there with her for sure would be too much of a distraction, as she likes to climb about. And yeah, we don't want to. She's healing from her spay surgery. I don't know if you knew that, but she went and she was spayed at the Ontario Veterinary College. And yeah, she's healing from that. So we'll give you more updates. And actually, we've got a couple of notes in the resident updates. So, but for now, there it is, baby Eleanor. Okay. That was some good engagement, everybody. Thanks for playing along. All right, we have to do some resident updates, and there are a lot of them. There are a lot of resident updates, so let's just jump right into it. Last week, it was a heavy facilities week because we needed to move the big heads, so Alfie, Pepper, and Pouty. We needed to move them into the arena space so that they could have their hooves trimmed up by the local hoof trimmer. And they bring this very specialized piece of equipment, but it was nice to see the boys in the arena. They were in there for, I think, 4 or 5 nights. And it was all sorts of setup to get them there safely. The first cow that we moved was Pepper, and we moved him in the trailer and then moved him through the front of the barn and brought him down the hallway, and then ended up spooking the pigs. The pigs all levitated out of their beds, and yeah, it was super scary moving them. They are enormous, and there's just a lot of risk with moving them when it's snowy and winter and icy, but there's also risk to manage when they have their hooves are overgrown. So we brought them into the arena, and they spent 4 or 5 nights there. And here is the hoof trimming device that came in. This is one of our volunteers, PJ, who is keeping Mr. Pepper company while he's tipped up there on the side. Let me see if I have a video of... It was nice to see the cows interact with different residents. Here's Hercules, who had no idea that these giants even existed. He has not seen them before. He's seen Pouty before, but he has not seen Pepper and Elfie this up close. So it was great to see the interaction between the different herd members and the different families. And yeah, we got an up close look underneath of all 3 of our bovine rescue friends. Here's Pouty. So they go in and head first, and then they get tipped up on their side. That black panel by Pouty's head is a big pillow headrest for him, and they tip them up right on their side. It's really something to see if you've not seen it before, to see our big 3,000-pound friends be lifted up and turned on their side. And yeah, their 4 hooves are available then so that the hoof trimmer can pick at them and then grind them down. He's got a motorized tool there, cordless grinder. And Pouty was first because he's the most docile out of the 3 of them. But yeah, picked up the bottom of their feet, and then they grind them off to a nice flat surface with no overgrowth. And then they get tipped back and put back to earth, and then they go back into their pen. So we had to set up all of these safe fencing panels to make this an experience that is in control, because the cows aren't going to do anything that they don't, they're difficult to manage. So the equipment to manage them is huge, and it's heavy, and we've got our shoot and squeeze equipment and all of these fence panels, but it kept everybody safe. And we got to change all of Pouty's tires. All 4 tires got changed and rotated around, and he's ready to go. Yeah, I've got so many screens on here. There we go. Yeah, so the 3 boys, they all got tipped and had the bottom of their hooves done, and then returning them back to their pasture space the following day. They rested in the barn overnight because that's quite a big adventure for them to be turned on their side like that and have their hooves all done. Here's another little video of Pouty getting his hooves all trimmed up. You can see just it's like wood shavings flying, but we kept them safe, and we got them all, their hooves are all trimmed up beautifully, and then we got to return them home. So this is at the back of the Wonder Arena on the east side, where Pepper led the way. That's me right behind Pepper. And then Pouty was a close second. And then Alfie came charging through shortly thereafter. He was not really into the hallway setup that we had. They had never been down this way before, but we used these, our flexible fencing panels. They're portable. They all come apart into like 8 or 10 foot sections, and they all clip together with chains and hardware, and we're able to make a hallway so that we can return them back to pasture. We decided to do it like this to walk them back this way rather than put them on the trailer, because it's scary for them to be put on the trailer, and it's one at a time, so they're separated. This way, by returning them back this way, they can all go together, and they're not there's not as many behaviors that you see when they're separated. So yeah, maybe they should be wearing safety goggles when trimming hooves. Yeah, the trimmer did not have safety goggles on, or are you talking about our residents? PJ did use his baseball cap to cover their eyes while there was stuff flying around there, so got them all safe. But the cows are back in their pasture where they belong. I think this is my camera view of them very slowly coming up through that hallway. This is at the back of the barn, the Wonder Arena. There's the silo that's got to go inside yet. We just haven't had the physical resources to get that put in place, but it's here. And there it is. We just have to bring it inside. But yeah, it was quite the experience. It was nerve-wracking and lots of risk to manage just based on their size and the distance and the people that are involved to get them all safe. But we did it. It was a pretty heavy weekend to get it all ready and make sure that it all happened as it needed to. But we've got a fantastic team here on the ground of caretakers that make sure that everything is as safe and as it possibly can. So here, we got spooked there. He said, "Who's that?" Back into the pasture they go. It was a bit of a rigmarole to get them all into the pasture that we wanted them into, but yeah, that's okay. Here comes Mr. Pouty. Yeah. And here comes Alfie, who is charging his way up that hallway and out, and here I think he bucks around a bit here. These boys buck around a lot when they're excited. They can't contain it. You can see it in the way that they walk and run around. But anyway, so that was a very heavy week to do that, get them into the arena, all the prep work to get them into the arena, caring for them in the arena because they're in the space, and yeah, so congratulations to the amazing caretaker team that was able to make sure that all happened. Here's a little picture of Eleanor's undercarriage. Oh, it feels so good to be able to say her name. There is Eleanor's undercarriage. You can see where she was spayed, and those stitches are just going to grow out as it heals, so they don't have to be taken out. There's no stitches. They'll just grow out or be dissolved. The bandage that came off of it was pretty clear. Just a little bit of post-operation goop, a little bit of blood, but nothing to be concerned about, no smell. So her healing is going very well. We're very pleased to report that Eleanor's doing good, and she's starting to move around a lot more and become more comfortable. You can see her before she wouldn't lay down for a belly rub. She didn't want anything to do with it. I think it just felt uncomfortable. So now that she's feeling more comfortable post-surgery, yeah, she's laying down and letting you have a belly rub and inspect the site. So that's good news for Eleanor. April's eye, you remember she got stabbed there just above her face on her left eye there. And yeah, it was a tusk injury, a mishap, if you will. And there was this big, huge gash with this flappy skin. And although nothing was trimmed away like at the initial inspection when she presented with that wound, it all looked like it was going to fuse back together, but we all know that wounds, as they heal from the inside out, and so it pushed that flap of skin up, and so it was presenting just sort of like hanging there, big scab, and I grabbed onto it and I went, "April, you're so beautiful," and I pulled it off very quickly, and she didn't even react. She's been an amazing patient to have a wound like this up close to her eye. So there was it's just like if you tear a scab off. So the injury needed to happen in order for the full healing to happen. So she's doing well. They're not even, there's nothing to clean on it anymore. The wound is completely closed, and the caretaker team did amazing with that healing journey. Okay, here's a photo I did not like to see. This is Hercules' front left foot presenting with a blowout on that hoof. There was a crack there initially, and we do whatever we can to make sure that blowouts don't happen, but it happened here, unfortunately. This many feet, it's bound to happen, and Hercules' front right foot blew out, so he wasn't walking any differently, but that is not a great sight there. It's you know, there's a high possibility of infection when it gets like that, so we had to pull him in for emergency hoof trimming, and we got a closer look at it. Here's from the back. You can see light through the hoof there. So that nail, that hoof material that's broken away, we had to trim that all up using the big farrier tools that we have here on site. So trimmed it all up, got it all cut back, and then dremeled them all flat, took away anything of the hoof structure that was dangling. You can see there, this is post grinding down, making the hooves a little bit shorter, shaping them, and then adding this copper care solution to the area where the crack has exposed any raw material. So you're really getting a hoof lesson today, friends. I feel like after today you'll be able to solve hoof problems if you have them on farm, or if you know anybody that has hoof problems on farm. Just by watching this program weekly, you're gaining a wealth of knowledge about things that we look for and how we correct them here in the sanctuary setting. So that is let me see if I got, we got Jeannie Bean. Jeannie Bean's front left knee there. She's getting an abrasion injury from being down too much, ultimately, is what it is. And so we're wrapping it now to protect that skin to make sure that it's not going to break open and cause any problems. So Jeannie's Bean's got a little knee pad on now on that knee to help make sure that she has as comfortable as an experience. Mr. Richard was noted as sleeping on the ground on night checks, and that's not something that's typical for him, and is definitely signaling that something is off. And Kevin was able to get a video. I couldn't find the video, but essentially Richard, it's almost like he's gasping, like he opens his beak and makes a face, and he's not gasping for air. It looks like that, but Kevin did a search on our online portal here that we have that manages all of the data. Kevin actually designed the program that handles all of our healthcare checks and the way that the data can be searched, and so he was able to search back to, oh gosh, I don't even remember the year, but he did find out that behavior is some sort of a worm, and maybe a lungworm perhaps, but the way that the treatment was for it was a blast of fenbenzol. So he did get some of that, and we're keeping a close eye on Richard because we want him to be as comfortable as possible. All right, that's the last of the resident updates. We're going to slip right in here to facilities updates, where there's not too many facilities updates because it was a very heavy resident week, and it had all hands on deck, making sure that the cows were able to get in and out of the space safely, making sure that's all done. And then, of course, the hoof emergency treatment on Hercules there. So the facilities updates, there was a salt shortage. I don't know if you're in Ontario, Canada, but there's a salt shortage in Ontario, Canada that has everybody scrambling for salt. including us, but we're back up. We've got our salt reserves back. We got 2 pallets of salt that have come in, thankfully. It's quite icy, and there's a big hill on the driveway coming up when you get to the top, and so just keeping that all clear and making sure that the volunteers can get in and out safely, and of course all of the team members here that make this place go round. There's some beautiful sunsets and sunrises that happen here on the property. So we might as well discuss what the weather is like. The Sanctuary Weather Report. Today it is cold. It is a blizzard out. Here is a camera view where you can hardly see the big old barn. The camera zooms in, tries to get a image on it, but it is just snowing out like crazy. There are these little squalls that come and go. I don't think I can, well, I can see out the window right now. It's not snowing like it was before, but man, it is snowing and blowing. It is blizzardy and blustery, and here are the temperatures. It's minus 14, which is pretty cold. But what's more concerning is as we go on into the week, of course, snow, wind, and then on Saturday we wake up to it being minus 24, and then Sunday minus 26. And I am not looking forward to those temperatures because those are hard days on farm. Anybody that works on a farm will tell you the cold days, the equipment doesn't quite work the same, nothing starts, things frozen. So that's what we have to look forward to. So we'll be increasing the bedding for the residents to make sure that they have got lots of dry bedding, and then they will get increased meal amounts because when it's that cold, they're burning more calories, and to keep everybody warm, they're burning calories, so they need more calories when it's that cold. And Chris is actually out right now trying to manage Escalade, getting the halter on him so that BJ and Escalade can be brought in for that those couple of cold nights there where it is so ridiculously cold. BJ and Escalade also have jackets which they will be getting put on, so that's happening today. That's actually why Chris can't join us right this moment, is because he's out trying to convince Escalade and BJ that coming inside the barn for the next few days is the best course of action. It is so cold, yes. Yeah, today's weather sucks. It is gross. Yeah, it is. The strong cold winds are brutal. Oh, it looks perfect to you, Laura. Yeah, it is so cold. My feet tips are cold. My gloves are right here in my hand. I can't touch the screen with gloved hands, so I have my hands in gloves as we're going along here because it is pretty chilly outside. Yeah. All right. Well, we did the weather, we did all that. It's now time for the Magic Rainbow Bag.
The magic rainbow bag. What's in the bag? The magic rainbow bag.
Okay, let's see.
We'll answer all your questions about the mission and the
What's in the Magic Rainbow Bag, friends? If you have a question that you would like answered in today's Magic Rainbow Bag segment, that's right now, right here. All you have to do is leave a comment below, message us, or email info@happilyeverester.ca. Of course, if you private message us or email us in this moment, we're not going to get to your questions until next week. But any questions that you have, you can put them in the comment feed below, and I'm going to do my absolute best to scroll through these comments to see if there are actually any questions, because sometimes there are no questions. Let me get to the top. Oh, I see lots of people excited about Eleanor's name. Yes, we are very excited too. Okay, here's the first question on the board from Brooke. How did Pepper and Elfie do getting their hooves trimmed? They were pretty good. There'll be more videos that'll come out on social that will show you a little bit more of the process. But Elfie is reluctant to want to go where we want him to go. But that's why we've got gates and stuff that make it all safe, so that we can eventually make the space smaller, make the space smaller, make the space smaller, until eventually he's got nowhere to go but forward and either onto the trailer or into the trimming chute. But yeah, he did okay. He thrashed around a couple of times, but nothing that was too show-stopping for him. And then when we opened the machine for him to come out, he was reluctant to step out, and he needed some grain in front of him to lead him back. But yeah, the boys did well. It all went well. And it'll just get easier as we go along, and we're hoping that we can keep this trimmer in our back pocket and ready to go, because having to change trimmers all of the time and use different equipment and get used to their new way of doing things, it's just better if we can keep the same trimmer. So we're hopeful for that. Let's see, any other questions? I'm scrolling along. Maybe they should be wearing safety goggles when trimming. Oh yeah, we covered that one. Good eye on that, Shirley. Can you do a volunteer spotlight for us monthly donors, please? I vote PJ be the first one on a volunteer spotlight. Oh, that's love for PJ coming down from Brooke. I think that's a great idea, and we'll table that and see what everybody thinks about that. So, good idea. Yeah, PJ is an amazing volunteer here. That he uses the tractor, and he's great with equipment, great with the residents, great with the large heads, and we're so grateful to have PJ be involved. Yeah, PJ is great with the cows. That's right. More love for PJ. Dun, dun, dun. You're glad April's doing well? Yes. Here's poor Hercules. Do you think that it's painful for him? Well, just based on the way that he was reacting, when he's walking, there's not pain on it, but when you poke at it, so if you're using a fine-tipped instrument and you poke at it, it's definitely sensitive, but the whole thing itself is not sensitive. But he's got pain meds on board, so that hopefully he doesn't feel that too much. Great question. Some love for Hercules. Oh, good. The Genie Cloud is all bandaged up there. Good one. Smooches to Genie. Okay. This is a great question from Brooke. Do you find that there are more hoof issues in the winter than in the summer due to not as much activity? For me personally, without quantifying it and like pulling data on it, I feel like it's about the same. In the winter, the hooves dry and become, quite brittle, and you want them to remain, kind of moist and pliable. And so in the winter, they dry out, which I believe adds to more cracking. But in the summer, with them being more active and out on pasture, perhaps they step on something that cracks a nail, or there's something like a hoof injury due to a stone bruise or something like that. So I think it's like probably 50-50. I'm sure that we could source the data and go like, yeah, it was a bit more in the winter, but I honestly feel like it's an even split there. So great question, Brooke. More questions for the Magic Rainbow Bag. Here we go. I think I'm almost at the bottom. Let's scroll in the comments. Let's see. How come their feet don't get cold in snow? Does the hooves insulate it somehow? Well, there's not much insulation there. I mean, the hoof does provide a little bit of a barrier between the cold, but they don't really like to be out in the cold. So it's not like, oh, are you talking about the cows or maybe the pigs? But the cows, they don't seem to mind it at all. The cows actually wanted out of the arena. They were not very impressed to be in the arena. There was lots of moaning about when the doors would open and they would go straight as far as they could in their pen, and they wanted to get out. But they're huge, and they have such thick skin and a very, very thick coat of fur to keep them warm. Okay, very curious about your healthcare program that you spoke about with 100-ish creatures. I would love better ideas. Then I have to assume I can't actually read all of it because it's below the line there. But very curious about your healthcare program. So Kevin wrote this. Kevin is a coder, and he made something that worked for us. But there is a not-for-profit called the Open Sanctuary Project, where they do have a program that's available on the website, and I believe it's just for a donation that you can get it, but it can be a really great database tool that you can start tracking all of your resident creatures. So yeah, I used to just do things on when we first started, I had a whiteboard, and when we first started, it was all in my head, and then it got too much to manage, and then it came to a whiteboard, and then from a whiteboard to an Excel spreadsheet, and then we still actually operate on an Excel spreadsheet, but it's the way that the information is sorted and collected that makes it searchable and easy for us. But the Open Sanctuary Project has so many resources that I highly recommend you check them out. Anybody that's curious about owning a sanctuary or that owns a sanctuary, they should definitely have that resource in their back pocket, because it is, it's a pooled resource from hundreds and hundreds of people that are on the field, right in the trenches doing the work, and the information is top notch. So there is the website for the opensanctuary.org. Okay. Let's see. How often do the cows need their hooves trimmed? About 2 times a year, or as needed, of course. If something acute comes up, we'll do that. Does Eleanor respond to her new name yet? No, it's a little too soon for that. Although I did try all of the names with her, and in my mind I was like, oh, she responded to Eleanor, and that has got to be her name. She is just, I don't know. It's hard to quantify right away whether she knows her name or not, but she did respond to Eleanor, and I have to believe that was her going like, yeah, my name is Eleanor. So we're rocking on with the name Eleanor. It could also be Ellie, right, for short. I'm sure there's lots of pet names that we can come up with. All right, friends, we did it. We made it all the way through the program. We know that her name is Eleanor, and she is going to have the best happily ever Esther Farm Sanctuary life that we can possibly give her. And we want to thank all of the monthly donors, all of the single one-time donors, anybody that's here on this live feed. Thank you so much for showing up. You just being here and commenting and sharing and doing things like putting hearts down. Those are all ways that help the sanctuary message of love and compassion for farmed animals everywhere grow stronger. And let me tell you, we need your help, and so do farmed animals everywhere. So thank you so much for being here today. My name is Derek, and we'll see you next week on Heath's Barnside Chat. Thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye, Deb. Thank you. Goodbye, Helen. Goodbye, Nana.
Join us today, feel the warmth inside in the Barnside Chat.